Hey, this is Sean with Tab Off-Road. Today I'm going to be installing the Tab Off-Road Rock Slider Tree Kicker on this Polaris Razor Pro XP. For this job you'll need a socket driver with a 3/4 inch socket, a 3/4 inch wrench, as well as a 10mm socket. Alright, step number one, we have to remove 5 bolts from our skid plate that hold the skid plate to the frame. They're just the 5 that run along the side on both sides. That's where we'll use the 10mm. That's what they look like. Those just hold the skid plate up to the underside of the frame. Take out all 5 of those. When those 5 are out, there is a little hook that holds it in place at the back. All you have to do is kind of use your thumbs and pull it down. Just take something and pry it out. I'm going to use my wrench. Just like that. With the skid plate out of the way, next we can install our supplied spacers. We have 2 short ones and 2 long ones. The 2 short ones are going to go in the front 2 slots in our frame. One there, one here. 2 long ones will go in the back. And there. And the last one is at the very back, right there. And on this one, we'll actually need to go in from the back side of the seat. We'll have to remove the seat, and then we can get access from the back there. Okay, to get access to our rear mounting point, we do need to take off the seat. To do that, it's pretty straightforward. You just flip that tab right there, pull it forward and lift it out. We'll get that out of the way. Okay, so here I am in the back seat. Just to give you a reference point, I'm going to pan out. So here's a seat belt. It's going to be right behind this hose. This little slot there. That's where our spacer slides into, and how this works. We'll take the supplied bolts. We got the 2 long for the back and the 2 short for the front. This bolt will hold the tree kicker to the frame. And then on this side, we'll hold it together with the nut from the back side here. So I'll give you a reference of what it'll look like. I don't have the tree kicker on there right now, but this is what it'll look like when we do get it on there. So you can see the bolt coming through there. When you have your bolt and tree kicker in place, then you'll tighten it down with the supplied nut. Okay, now working from the outside, we can actually start to put this onto the frame. So I'm going to take that bolt back out. I'm just going to start at the back. I'm going to slide that bolt through just like that. And then I'll use that nut on the inside to tighten it. But I'm just going to kind of get all these bolts started before I do any of that. And that'll just kind of hang on there like that until we get our nuts tightened. But again, we do have the 2 short bolts and the 2 short spacers. Those go in the front. The 2 long spacers and long bolts will go in the back. Just like that. And then I'm going to use my 3/4 inch socket on the bolt. And then I'm going to hold the nut in place with the 3/4 inch wrench. Okay, when that's snug but not tight, I'm just going to go ahead and go down the other remaining 3, and then once the 3 are all snug, then we'll go ahead and tighten everything down. Okay, for the rest of these, we're just going to be fitting the nuts through the back side. That's why we had to remove the bolts that hold in our skid plate. So we're just going to hold the skid plate out of the way, take the nut, feel for the bolt on the back and get it started. And then we'll take our 3/4 inch socket on the outside and just start slowly snugging these down. Okay, so this front one is a little bit of a tight squeeze, so you can do one of two things. You can have one person just pry a little bit of pressure on our skid plate here to give you enough room to get back in there. If you are working on this by yourself, you can remove a couple more of the bolts that hold this in place just to be able to pull it down a little bit more. But since I have the help, I'm just going to have my guy here pry down on that. Okay, so with all these loosely in place, next I'm just going to go ahead and start tightening these all the way down. It's a good idea to start from the front. If you start from the back, it might pull the front out and it won't be centered. So we're just going to start at the front here. Alright, you should be able to do the remaining three with just one person. That's what I'm going to do. Front one's tightened. I'm just going to work my way back now. Final step, we're going to reinstall our screws that hold the skid plate to the frame. Again, there's 5 of them down the length. When you get to the back too, you do want to remember to re-hook our rear section of our skid plate. And to do that, you kind of want to pull back on the hook, and as you're pulling back, then you should be able to push it up into place fairly easily. When you get that hooked in place, we can install the last 2 screws. Alright, with the tree kicker on there, when you get it on there, you can kind of see how the tree kicker actually sits a little bit lower than the actual skid plate. That's by design, just in case you ever do find yourself in a situation where you're going over rocks or tree stumps or whatever. It'll protect you by hitting the tree kicker first and not the underside of your frame. Alright, that's all there is to it. This job is done. Be sure to double check us on Facebook, Instagram, and also our website, because we do have these rock sliders in a wide variety of colors. So be sure to check us out there. Also hit that subscribe button down below for more cool and helpful videos. Thanks guys.